Alright, hi, hello and welcome back. Welcome back to the Color Challenge in Magic the Gathering Arena, the free-to-play Magic the Gathering card game, the online version. You can see that it's the green one this time around. It's gonna be the last one because the other ones I've actually already played off camera, so yeah. Video is gonna be largely the same format as the previous one, but there's gonna be a bit less of an explanation because I've explained some of the keywords and stuff in the last video already. As you can see, I'm trying a new cam format. I'm in a nice little circle right now. I thought that might just change up the vibe a bit and differentiate me from some other creators you might watch. Just, I don't know, a bit of my own touch. I feel like a circle is a more pleasant form to look at, but that's enough talk about that. Let's get into some Magic the Gathering Arena, shall we?
How this thing goes is up to you, pal.
Alright, so here we are with Vivian Reed, the green hero, planeswalker. Her homeworld was deeply divided between the forest dwellers and an advanced civilization that encircled the dwindling woodlands. She belonged to the Smaragdi, sworn to protect the forest. Large and in charge. That's what I talked about last time when I talked about the green classes, or the green decks rather. They are mainly focused on mana ramping. Let's find an example of some right here. Mana ramping, getting ahead of your opponent in terms of mana and land, and they are about big creatures, of course. And one of the main returning themes in these green cards, as you would expect, are of course also just plants and animals. We're not gonna go in depth about what the deck does, we will find out when playing. We're starting off against a white deck. Let's see how it goes. Should all be fine. Definitely need to move my camera around this time though, because we remember from last time that didn't work out all that well. Because I was blocking a lot of what was happening on screen. I believe maybe right up here. This could be a good position. Let's go. We start our hand off with 3 forests, which is not that many. Not that much. No, many. Many is for when it's a countable word, right? Not that many forests, but we do of course have our Elysian Caryatids. Yeah, Elysian Caryatids, and they can help us gain some mana more quickly, some land, so that's gonna help us out a ton. Still debating on whether to put my camera here so that I'm always looking at you straight in the face, or if I like the side view a bit more. I think for now it's still gonna be the side view, but that is something that can always change in the future. Let's just get a 3/3 body on the board because I think that's gonna help us out a lot. This ability triggers when I put on the next one, so putting on another one with the same name will give this guy 2 1/1 counters. One more forest, as is to be expected. If I play this, it has summoning sickness, so we won't be able to use that mana to play this one or anything at all. They're rampaging brontodon't, but come to think of it, we wouldn't even have enough mana either way, would we? This is 4 right here, and we could tap 2, and this needs 7. No, we're still 1 short. So what we're just gonna do is play the Ball of Pack Hunter, and now you will see this guy get 2 1/1 counters. That's gonna be... Oh, alright. This normally just adds 1 mana when tapping, but because we have a creature with 4 or more power, we can use it to actually tap for 2 mana, so that's why we could do that. I'm gonna attack. This guy has trample, him defending with every creature he owns, no problem at all. That is definitely worth it. Completely in control of the board right now against this white deck. This AI is of course programmed to have not that many special tricks up his sleeve, and now we will get a rampaging brontodon't on the board. It's a dinosaur, it's a creature. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each land you control. That's insane. And the land can also be tapped. It doesn't say anything about that. So we can go about our turn, do everything we want, and then still, if you would attack with this guy right now, it would get 6 1/1 counters, so that would get it up to 13/13 if I'm not mistaken. There we go. It's obviously gonna block that, but that's no problem. He's already dead. Oh, it has trample as well. Ooh, that's a strong card. You just saw it in action right there, how strong that can be. First victory, get it over with rather quickly. Let's see what kind of upgrades our deck gets right now. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that we would get some spiders with reach. There we go. Vigilance. Oh, first time I'm ever like moving my camera around in the footage as well in the middle of a video. Vigilance and reach. It can reach flying minions, and it can attack and then defend in the same turn, and another brontodon't as well, which is gonna help us out a ton. Going up against a red deck right now, it might be a bit more difficult because these guys often have like these small removal spells at the start of the game for locals, so they can remove our ramping creatures from the battlefield. Really slow us down in our tracks. We've definitely seen this guy before. When it gets blocked, it summons a 1/1 goblin. We are just following the same trajectory as we were the last game for now. I am not gonna block if he chooses to attack. because I want my mana ramp to stay in place, and that's exactly what I was talking about. I don't even have the opportunity to block or not. We don't have any creatures left. I can just play him again though, but that's gonna be it for this turn still, and his board is becoming scarier by the turn. There we go. Spellgorger Weird. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1/1 counter. So kinda like a mana worm in Hearthstone, where it gets stronger the more spells you cast. Put a 1/1 counter at a creature you control, untap that creature. So untap that creature is important, because what we can do this, it will tap it, but if you would have enough mana, we could untap it again. Completely forgot to change my camera, of course. That's what happens when I change it in the middle of the video. Now we got both of these. I'm not gonna make the same mistake again, right? Or no, this time it should be like this, right? Alright, so now we have 1 mana left, and we can put a 1/1/1 counter it and untap it again. Which also means that we can use it to tap again if we want to. Not usable for us this turn, but might be a handy little mechanic for the future. He is again sacrificing all his creatures to kill my 1 strong creature. I don't mind, because I have another one lined up right here. Nothing for him this turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. That is definitely the case. This is gonna be of more value for us than playing a random 3/3 body on the board, so I'm definitely gonna play this enchantment. No need to play Stony Strength right now. It is great to see that the 1/1 counter remains on there though, because I thought that would get removed at the end of the turn for some reason. No problem at all. This is an instant, so if he decides to attack, we will definitely just block with our reach creature. And now you can see we draw 2 cards because of the effect of this one. There is no way for us to get the Rampaging Brontodon't out right now, because we don't have a land in our hand. So I guess we should just spend a bunch of mana right here. Well, let's bait him out a bit, shall we? We will just play this small creature. We will go next. We will attack with our 4/4. He is probably gonna block. He is not gonna block. That puts us in a bit of a precarious position, because now we do, of course... No, because it has Vigilance, so we can still block with that. Awesome. Get the Rampaging Brontodon't out there, and the game is just gonna be over either way next turn. It doesn't really matter what I do anymore. I'll just attack with all. And there we go. Leave him at 2 health. He can have 1 more turn. He does have a lot of mana. 1 shock is not gonna cut it. 7 mana. I don't think he has any board clears or anything. Just some damage to the face is not gonna cut it for you, I'm afraid. Doesn't matter what we do. Let's play the forest. Let's all attack. And there we go. Easy enough. He has no cards left in his hand, so he can block all he wants. He is definitely more than that. Alright, the pace in this video is a bit higher, of course, because I don't have to explain anything anymore. I hope everything is pretty clear. There might be some things where you're like, what the hell is happening, but trying to go a bit faster. Deck is gonna get upgraded, gonna move my face down a bit again so that we can see the new cards, and let's check out what this game has to offer. Flash, so that's kind of the same thing as instant, kind of. It's an enchantment for a creature, and the creature gets +5/+5 and trample, very strong. Jungle Delver. Put a +1/+1 counter on Jungle Delver. So we can kind of scale this in the late game if it survives up until then. Awesome. Versatile cards, very usable. Up against a blue deck right now. This time I did remember to remove my face cam. And let's see what this guy has in store for us. Shouldn't be too difficult. We've been steamrolling the other opponent so far, so this one should not be different. Sworn Guardian, just a 1/3 without any special effects. That's not gonna save him from anything. We could already put a 1/1 counter on this guy if we wanted to by tapping our other minion, and I think we should just do that. Attacking has no use because he will just block and both minions will survive, so that doesn't get us anything. This is powerful for him though, because it might allow him to really speed up his process of filling up the board. His flying creatures now cost 1 less, so we should be careful for that. Let's activate his ability again. Becomes a 3/3. Next, just attack with that guy. There we go. He is gonna block with both creatures. Let's see. Oh, look at this. We add 1 green mana. We put a +1/+1 counter on our minion, and now both of his minions die, and our minion survives. That right there. Oh, right. The damage also works that way, because I already dealt a bunch of damage to the first minion. I didn't have enough to kill the second minion. But things like that right there, those small interactions, that's exactly why I love Magic the Gathering so much. You might think sometimes that, oh, you're really screwed right now, you don't have anything to do, but then by moving just 50 cards around and triggering all kinds of effects in a specific order, you get yourself out of the struggle some way or another. And you also need to take these descriptions literally, because for example, this guy states that Whenever he attacks, he gets +1/+1 until the end of turn for each land we control. Now, what I thought immediately was, what if we tap this guy and get 2 extra mana? Will that be 2 extra power? No, because mana and land are 2 different things, if you can follow what I'm saying there. We're not gonna do anything too crazy, we will just attack with both of our strong minions. If he wants to sacrifice something to defend against the 4/4, that is fine by me. I think we should definitely have lethal if we just use both of these. It doesn't matter on which one we use it, because this guy is trample. No, it does not matter. There we go, exactly lethal without calculating it. That's how you know I'm really good at this game. That fight took 10 seconds, I think. That guy is gonna be uninstalling magic, which is funny because it's AI, so it can't uninstall magic. Upgrades. Gigantosaurus. Just a 10/10 body for 5 mana, but it is 5 forest mana, so that's something you don't see that often. Most of the time, the cards have things like this, where you need to have one specific color, and then you can choose whichever mana you want to fill the rest of it. And then Rabbit Bite, I've had this card been used against me a lot of time in quick play. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So that's basically make 2 creatures fight, but your creature doesn't take any damage, and there's not an actual fight happening, it's just, yeah, dealing of damage, I guess. Up against the black deck as our final AI opponent, and we will move on to the 5th challenge, which is against another person online, of course. Should not be too difficult. Everything so far has been going smoothly. This guy does, of course, have some death touch minions, so in this case we might want to sacrifice our ramp creatures just to get rid of the death touch, because that death touch can, of course, get rid of our large minions. 3/3 on the board, nothing to sneeze at. It doesn't say anything about our creature having to be tapped or untapped, so we're definitely not defending against that. But for example, I could use this guy's ability to do something in my turn and then still use the Rabbit Bite with him too. We could use both Rabbit Bites to clear out these guys before they get strong out of control. It's a difficult one. We could also just save our Rabbit Bites for when he puts bigger threats on the board, you know? But do we want to give him space to breathe? That's the question. I think for now I will use one of them, just like that. And then we are gonna go to the next phase. We are gonna go to an attacker. It is a sorcery, it's not an instant. So if I still want to do it with the mana that I have on this turn before I go to the next turn and I untap my mana, I need to do it right now. I can't cast it during my opponent's turn. Let's just go for it. As I thought, I can still use the tap creature if I want, it doesn't matter, but I'm definitely gonna get rid of the death touch because our rampaging brontodon't is sooner or later gonna be coming out. Flying at the beginning of your end step, if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter. Alright, that's nothing too bad. We can just block this freely because, well, alright, for a second I thought that he would get the +1/+1 counter and survive, but that was not the case, luckily enough. We are just gonna play this to get this up to a 5/5 with its effect. There we go. Definitely attack. 5 damage to the face is pretty good. He will be playing Sengir Vampire. Flying whenever a creature dealt damage by Sengir Vampire this turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sengir Vampire. That's nothing too scary for us right now. We will just attack with our 5/5. Attacking with our 3/3 would have been a bad decision because he could have just defended with his 4/4 and he would have come up on top and I would have lost my minion. There is another Death Touch minion which is very scary for a rampaging brontodon't, but I do feel like it should... What I'm thinking about is this minion has trample, right? So if I attack this, sure, my brontodon't is dead, but it will still deal its damage to the enemy hero, I believe. So that might still be worth it. What is this? When this enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Let's calm down for 1 second. We are gonna use this to kill the 3/3. I could have also killed the 1/1 with Death Touch, but I want this minion to survive. If I attack with my 5/5 now, he is gonna use his Death Touch minion, of course. So I think I want to just attack with my 3/3. If he wants to block that, that's fine. No problem at all. Of course it has trample, so it did still do the 2 damage, right? If I saw that correctly. I wish I had an instant replay function, you know, but... Murder. Just straight up destroying a creature. He just killed himself. Because he has no untapped defenders left, no cards in his hand, so whatever I do, he's just dead. Alright, easy enough. All the AI opponents defeated convincingly. Now moving on to the one online opponent. And if we win or lose, it doesn't matter. We will get our rewards either way. Final deck upgrade. Let's take a look together. Here we are. World Shaper. Whenever it attacks, I may mill 3 cards. I may, so I can decide myself. When it dies, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Wow, that's milling. That's milling and ramping in one. And then we have the 4/2 trample as well. So this could be really strong. But you have to be lucky and get some lands in your graveyard, of course. It also incentivizes you when your opponent has some effects that make you discard cards to just put them in the graveyard, because you know you can get them back in one great swing turn. Finally, playing against another player. Let's see how that goes. And would you look at that? My buddy Crowgrin, Grinning Crow in this case, is also playing. We've both gotten back into Magic for a while now. That's a cool planeswalker, never seen that guy before. And here we go again. 2 land. It's always 2 land. We are gonna mulligan one time. It's still 2 land, but we get a ramp creature. So in theory, it might be 3 land. I want to go with this because I don't want to just have no cards in my starting hand. I think the rampaging brontodon't is not gonna come out for a while, so I will just put it in my library. I don't know if the mulligan phase, putting something back into your library, puts it at the bottom of your deck or just anywhere in your deck. I hope it's anywhere in your deck, but I should look that up if I do remember. Playing against another green, might be mono green, could be something else. There we go, so now we have 3 mana already. I would really like to top deck some land. It's not mono green, it's green and blue. Great combination, really nature focused. What do we have? Fierce Empath. When it enters the battlefield, he may search his library for the creature card with mana value 6 or greater, reveal it and put it into his hand. So we know that he put Beanstalk Giant into his hand, one of the newer cards, because I think this part of the card right here is a new mechanic. It is a giant, that's scary. Fertile Footstep, sorcery, search your library for the land card, put it onto the battlefield. Power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Interesting, so he is definitely also going to be looking to ramp up rather quickly. We are not going to be in control of a creature with power of 4 all too soon, so I think getting the 4/2 body with trample on the board for now is going to be a better bet for us, but we desperately need to draw some influencing cards or otherwise we're going to be in big trouble. Territorial Scythe Cat. Amazing artwork. It has blades sticking out of his paws. Landfall. All cards with landfall are really strong in my opinion. When he plays a land, he puts a 1/1 counter on the cat, and it also has trample. I feel like all cards with landfall are just quite insane. It's not even just green and blue, it's also red, which tells me that it might be kind of a dragon deck that we're facing up against, because I know, pardon me, that those guys often have all different kinds of mana. I think we're not gonna attack because of our Colossal Majesty, because only if we still control a creature with 4 power or more, we will use that enchantment. Fabled Passage. No, I want to look at it. Sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. If you control 4 or more lands, untap that land. So that is gonna be the case for him. All colors. Interesting. I always like these kind of decks. They really intrigue me and I wish I could play some myself, but I don't have enough cards yet. Combining colors is so cool because some of those cards have some intricate mechanics that really make use of all the possibilities in Magic. He has enough mana for his Beanstalk Giant, that's scary. Or he doesn't. Did he do this sorcery? You may cast this card as an adventure after you do exile it. Alright, so now I finally understand what that part of the card does, because I always thought it was something he could do when he played the card, but no. He can cast the adventure part, so the part on the bottom left, then he exiles the card, so he exiles it so that he can't use the sorcery adventure again, but he can still play the creature itself from the exile pile right here. Alright, so that the exile part is just so that he can only use the adventure once. And sorcery implicates the time where he can play his adventure, so it's not instant. He can only do it when he could play a sorcery. Crystalline Giant. I'm gonna move my camera aside for a bit, because look at this artwork. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't have on it from among flying first strike that... Put a counter of that kind. Wow. Wow. So this could get out of hand real quickly if we don't have a way to deal with it, which we do not. I also just realized that our Colossal Majesty is gone, so we're in pretty poor shape for the rest of this game, I believe. We still haven't drawn any land, so yeah, it's just over. If you don't draw any land in Magic, you are gonna be in trouble. Let's attack. Maybe he defends with his 3/3, who knows? He is. I don't understand. He probably has an easy way to get that out of the graveyard, but this one is tapped to play my other minion, so I can't even use it to defend right now, so this game is over. Either way, as we know, still get the rewards, but we get destroyed by people that do have a lot of magic cards, of course, which is to be expected. The basic decks can grant you some fun and maybe some wins if you match up against other basic decks, but if you match up against people that have actually created their own decks, you are in big trouble. There we go though, green color challenge complete, and that is this series in Magic complete for now. Might do some other things, showcase some of the decks that I am using if I do get some cards finally. I could buy 7 packs, as you can see by my 7,000 gold coins right there, but I haven't done so for now. Or this game might not make an appearance on the channel again, who knows. I'm having a bunch of fun in playing it right now for a while, but I might grow tired of it either way. We will see in the future. I hope to see you in the future. Have a nice week. Hopefully I can go for a run later today, but it has been raining all day here in Belgium. Yeah, see you around. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.